Welcome, lacrosse friends, to the 2023 North American Invitational. We are underway with 5th through 9th semifinal. Number 1, it is USA Blue in blue and the Rochester Bats, and that is a great defensive play right off the hop by the Bats to knock that one out. I think it was Jake Saunders getting in the way. And they come back up into the offensive zone. Eric Turner runs the floor. He's going to head off, get his chin strap buckled back up, and get ready to go back on the floor. U.S. is in the blue. They are on the right-hand bench as we're looking at the screen. That's Jake Fox with the ball for Rochester, who is in the left-hand bench. But the names on the screen, just so you know, are switched so that they match with the scoreboard up in the arena. And I got that right. Greg Beecher had to explain it to me, and I did it. It's a proud moment. Here comes U.S. Blue into the offensive zone. Jake Govett hands it off. The ball bounces into the far corner, just avoiding the check from behind. Oh, it's a big pick. Apparently the bar is set pretty high for physicality on the pick, because that was George Downey just knocking a Rochester Bats player over who's still limping towards the bench. Rochester goes up to the other end, the ball in the stick of Clint Lewis. Lewis spins off a check there, getting away from Logan Monroe. Then a big collision. Monroe sticks with it. They can't quite grab it. Joel White heads after that ball. He's lost his stick. Where is his stick? There it is. It was tied up in Lewis. Normally you see the stick land on the ground. It was nowhere to be seen. It was caught up in midair. U.S. onto the attack. Yeah. Rochester's getting fired up. They're angry at George Downey. He's the one who set the pick earlier. Now Kyle Baker getting into it. Actually, that's Baker. Downey's not even on the floor right now, so I take it back. Mike Cooper is heading after Baker. Adam Perrone is fired up as well, as he is wont to be. So it looks like we're going to go 4-on-3. I guess we'll go 5-on-4 because the first two will be offsetting. Then we'll go 5-on-4 for the U.S. and they'll set up with Jackson Reed at the top of the power play. We got Charlie Bertrand, number 18, over on the far side. Down in the crease is Jake Govett, number 20. There's also a 10-minute misconduct now. Not sure whether that's Cooper or Perrone. But Rochester has to send a player over to the penalty box, and they are not so far. Clinton Lewis is going to go. George Downey, number 3, and Jack Jasinski, number 1, are the righties on this power play. So one official has asked for another player to come over to the penalty box, but then another official has sent him back. So I'm not sure if they have everyone in there to serve the penalties. Right now, Perrone is the one whose penalty is active. Cooper and Baker will sit in until their full minute is elapsed, and then there's a stoppage to let them out, which could be a while. Here's Govett. Up to Bertrand. Hard shot, but Riley Hutchcraft stops that one. Hutchcraft facing off against Drew Hutchison. It's the two Hutchies at either end of the floor. Hutchison with the Halifax Thunderbirds. Hutchcraft with the Rochester Nighthawks.
26th, Mike Cooper, woman for roughing, 10-minute misconduct. USA penalty to number 2, Kyle Baker, woman for rough. Time of all penalties, 11:33.
I'm just going to let Michael Brand on the PA finish that up, and then we'll talk to the arena about getting the volume turned down a little bit so that other people can have conversations and people can hear what's going on. I don't know how loud it is for you guys, but I can't hear anything when that's going on. The volume got pumped up today, I think. So we'll get that dealt with. But right now, it is 0-0, 4.5 minutes in to this 5th through 8th semifinal. We're back to even strength, and Briley Maxwell handed it off. Here's Henry Follows. Little stutter step. Trent Boyd trying to get underneath. U.S. Blue defense doing a pretty good job just keeping them outside. Eventually a shot taken by Alex Q. Not much came of it as Hutchison turned it aside. You can go to LAXNAI.com, see all the stats, scores, standings, the schedule, which is huge because obviously things playing out right now. The winner of this goes to the 5th versus 6th place game a little later in the day. And the loser goes to the 7th versus 8th place game. Or 7th and 8th place game, not 7th versus 8th. 7th place game will be held at 2:20, and then at 3:10, the 5th place game. 9th place game is at 1:30, and that will actually be the L Gods and Era Green. So this game and the next one are our 5th through 8th semifinals, and that's what's going to determine who moves on. Rochester with possession. Jake Fox had to reach for it, got that one. Adam Yee on him. Little pick. Goes to the net, faked the pass, the single hand flip pass on the roll, but got the shot up. It was Tyler Brown setting the pick. Brown's going to momentarily head back to play some defense. Then once he sees the D gets out, he'll head to the bench for a change. Good alertness to make sure that they weren't giving up a transition chance. Bobby Kidd up for a shift with U.S. Blue. On offense, that is. He's playing with them all the time. Eric Turner setting up in the O zone. Follows, takes it. Tyler Brown trailing him. Trent Boyd trying to open some space. He is tangling in the middle with Max Wayne. We're going to have a penalty now coming to Henry Follows. Things getting pretty feisty. And Follows is going to follow up this little contact. You see Boyd and Wayne there. And that's Follows that passed it right now. He's number 9. He's going to come and set the pick. Oh, yeah, right up in the grill. Got into the face of Logan Monroe. Power play U.S. Trying to become the first on the board as we near the midway point of the first of two 15-minute running time halves. Bertrand rips one off the crossbar. If you do go to the site, LAXNAI.com, you can see all the scoring leaders and things. Note one thing, until it gets adjusted, Ryan Sharkey is showing as having scored all of Charlie Bertrand's points.
Somebody commented that they can hear you great even when they're announcing.
Excellent. Appreciate that input. I just heard that you can hear even when the PA is going, so I'll keep going. I didn't want it to be a cacophony for everyone, but appreciate that input. So I will keep going when the PA is on. It really sounds loud in here, so I didn't want things to be disyphonious. Is that the word? For your ears. Maxwell rips one. What a shot by Briley Maxwell. I was thinking he's looking for a pass. He's looking where he can go. Nothing was coming up, but the lane is wide open, and he just rips it. You can see the pick coming here on Patrick Timothy. He's looking for the roll with Hunter Lemieux, but it took a little bit for Ryan Sharkey to get out on Maxwell. Maxwell, who was with the Edmonton Miners last as they won we got to the final of the Minto Cup when it was played in Brampton. I believe he played for them again this year. I think he was still junior. That is why the shiny red helmet, as does his teammate Jackson Ganton, number 5 for Rochester out there on defense right now. Here's Jasinski. A nice job there on defense by, I'm trying to think if it was, see if it was Adam Q who it was to get, oh no, it was 27. I do have a 27. It's Taylor Jensen. So good defensive shift. He got tied up a bit, but man, did a great job of not getting so tangled that he took a penalty. Pass in front to Lemieux. Oh, what a finish. That is beautiful. Great pass by Tyler Brown. And then Lemieux with the outstanding catch. Fights off the defender. Lemieux is wide open, but he's not going to be open long as he takes this check in the back from Colin Monroe. Look at that space. Tyler Brown fits it through the check, but Lemieux with the catch keeps the feet out and goes horizontal to the far side. That's a nice play, Hunter Lemieux. And now Henry Follows. And just like that, bang, 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 it is 3-0 Rochester Bats. The defending champions were not happy about losing out in the quarterfinals. They felt like they had more than that, and they are looking to get to the fifth place game. For USA Blue, meanwhile, a lot of people saw them as contenders for the final of the championship, but they really were outplayed by Snake Island Muskies yesterday in the quarterfinal, and now they're trailing here again. And Peroni not happy with Hudson Bearden, the face-off guy for the U.S. Blue. Adam Peroni in the long line of lacrosse players who are very nice guys off the floor and become quite angry when they get on the floor and really ready to get into it. Here's Jake Fox. Tries to feed one through. I'm not sure if he even saw that coming. Rochester will put the forecheck pressure on. Oh, what a great play. I got to see who that was. That was with three men all over him. Ryan Sharkey managed to get the ball out of trouble there and just get it loose. He knew if there's three guys on him, there's some space somewhere. He threw it to where there should be open space, and it worked out pretty well. U.S. sixth attacker coming as there is a delayed penalty on the way to Rochester. That shot well off the mark, but Nick Miller had to just try and get it away because the 30 was about to expire. Here we go. Let's see what happens. It's down here in this scrum. Was it that slash at the end? Yeah. It's the penalty going to Andrew Vradenberg. Minto Cup champion Andrew Vradenberg. Also Halifax Thunderbirds draft choice. Andrew Vradenberg at the NLL draft waited and waited, went later than he was hoping, probably later than he was expecting. Once he was drafted, he had a smile on his face that did not leave for about 5 hours. He stuck around to the end of the draft, greeted and met with any of the other players that Halifax drafted. He was smiling, he was talking to everyone. It was just delightful to see. I mean, that is a young man who has his head on his shoulders. He's a good lacrosse player too, but tons of character. Hutchison looking for the outlet pass, but it's a back in. So Rochester will get possession, and they'll be able to kill the final 7 seconds of their disadvantage, the penalty kill. Coming up to 2 minutes to go in the first half. Again, 15-minute running time halves, 2 minutes of stop time at the end of the second half. Vredenberg looking a little shaken up as he comes across the floor, kind of hopping on one foot. Trying not to put too much weight on the left foot. That ball is knocked loose. Tyler Brown, I think, with the forecheck, got it loose. Briley Maxwell will lob it across to Eric Turner. Fox takes it with one hand, protects himself with the other. Looking for the backhand flip. He got it there, but it was just past the stick of Eric Turner. Outlet pass is too high. Cody Radzowitz can't come up with it. Hutchcraft made that a bit of an adventure as it got away from him for a second in the corner, and he's going to have a chat with Jake Fox and kind of laugh about how scary that got for a moment. Here's Trent Boyd. Henry Follows had a goal for Rochester. Tyler Brown trailing. He's the late man in. Oh, nice feed through. That is a great step save by Drew Hutchison as Hunter Lemieux came across, and they have a nice chuckle, nice word with each other. You know, I'm always curious if it is amicable or not. And a lot of times I think, oh, guys are having fun down there. And then you see a situation like yesterday where there was one spot, Blaze Reardon was absolutely not having fun with the opposing team. He was fired up and getting in their grills, and there was a lot of intensity in that one USA White matchup. That blast taken there, ripped by Jake Saunders. He is all alone against 4 and actually 5 blue jerseys in that end of the floor. And now is there a delayed penalty? No, it's 23 seconds left. So Hutchison goes to the bench. 6 attackers out for USA Blue. They'll see if they can get their first goal of the game. Kyle Baker has it. He's got Downey with him. He's going to go up to the other side instead, and Bertrand will immediately move it to Miller. Govett is in the slot, gets knocked away from Bertrand. Baker has it. Shoots one that's off the leg of a defender. There's Jeff Geddes getting in the way. And the first half will end with a Jeff Geddes pickoff. I don't know that shot was going to get through in time anywhere from Jack Jasinski, but we are through 15 minutes of play. It is, perhaps to the surprise of quite a few people, 3-0 Rochester Bats over USA Blue. We're going to take 2 minutes. We're going to see highlights from the tournament that have been cut together by Blue Squatch Productions, and then come back and join us on Blue Squatch YouTube and Lacrosse TV at the 2023 LAX for USA Blue. I think Craig Seneca may have just gotten his USA bucket or something, because that is a pretty nice looking blue finish on that. I think he had the gray before. Did he not? Yeah. Greg thinks he did too. Charity says, I don't look at goalies' helmets. Charity's doing the camera. She's very good at that. Not so much with the helmet net recognition. Good point. She said, unless they score, then I notice the goalies. Kyle Baker comes around the pick from Downey. Good two-man defense over there by Rochester. Turner now trying to cover Bertrand. That is no easy task. Charlie Bertrand, big, quick, athletic. Picked up by Johnny Leclerc. Has Alex Q with him. Oh, that's a nice play. Nice try, but good defensive job there by Jake Govett going back in transition defense to get in the way and make it very difficult to get that pass through. Leclerc made the right decision, just couldn't execute the pass. Jasinski finds Miller. He's going to go straight back to him. They isolate Jasinski all alone out there on Clint Lewis, and that is going to result in a goal. Jack Jasinski, the water bug, zipping and zapping, dipping and darting. Way at the restraining line. You're going to see him get the pass back here, and he is immediately moving in, and then boom, the lateral shift, reach around, bounces one just inside. And goalies are so vulnerable when they've just come into the game. Will Johnston, that's the first shot he faces, I believe, in this game. And that's a tough one. From the outside, around the screen, can't see it, right down in the corner, just past his foot. That's a tough start. So it's 3-1. Can USA Blue continue to creep back into this one? Bertrand hands it off, then goes through the middle. Sets a serious pick. Clint Lewis was victimized on the shot by Jasinski, and then I think he was getting the one who got picked there by Bertrand. He wasn't looking too comfortable, so he is going to lay a cross check right on the hip of Bertrand, and that's going to be a penalty. Big save by Johnson. Nice bounce back save by him, but USA Blue has the ball. They have 25 seconds, and they are about to have an extra attacker as Craig Seneca makes it to the bench. Baker to pass to Bertrand is knocked down. Peroni will grab it, and he was thinking about a shot, even though he knew the player was going to be blown down, and Bertrand said, no, just leave the ball up here. And you'll see this play. Clint Lewis is going to get picked right here. Bertrand passes the ball off. That's him. Oh, no, okay, right at the end there. Yeah, that hard cross check on the hip. Yeah, so this is where we will see the pass into the corner and right on the back side of that hip bone. Oh, those don't feel good. And that results in an immediate power play goal by Jake Govett. Had a hat trick in one game last year for the San Diego Seals. I'm not trying to remember how many goals he got in total, but he first round pick by the Seals a couple years ago. Had a solid couple of games with them. Hard to get into that lineup when they've got guys like Austin Stotts and Dane Doby, and they had Casey Jackson. There's a lot of lefty talent on that team. But Govett making his case, showing his finish here, just inside the pipe. I remember talking to his dad, Steve Govett, who is the president of the Seals, about Jake when he was a youngster, because I did a story about left-handed players, shooters in lacrosse, because there aren't a ton of them. There are more now, but especially outside of Canada, just not a ton. And he said he would take Jake to camps because they grew up in Canada, but then they were living in the States, and he said he'd take Jake to camps. That shot from Tyler Brown off the foot of Seneca and up out of play, and he would be the only left-handed player there. An entire camp full of kids. A lot more now. You see the Charlie Bertrands of the world, and a lot of good U.S. lefties coming up. There's a good lefty who played in the U.S. some. Hunter Lemieux traded from the Wings to the Nighthawks. Played in the NABL. He played in the Can-Am League this summer with the Tuscarora Tomahawks. And you see Lemieux takes that pass from way out and then just drags it through. And he's so strong. But that quick first step kind of surprises you. You see him do the feet coming together instead of the big cross step. So he's got the options to go anywhere. And then underneath. And what a play to get himself into position. Big goal on the reply to make it 4-2 after the U.S. had a couple of goals. Tyler Brown, a sneaky little shot. Didn't look dangerous, but it almost fooled Craig Seneca. He just barely got it. Here's Patrick Timothy, one of the players who's really impressed with his development during the tournament. Don't know if he's ready to be on the U.S. team at this point, but I'll tell you, I don't think he hurt him too much. That pass is knocked down by Brooker Muir, and then he takes a wild swing because he sees Nick Miller getting it. It bounces out, though, and Kyle Baker's had a very strong tournament and a strong camp last weekend. Is going to bury this one. The veteran righty. Number 2, you can see him coming in. Such a little pick. That's Muir reaching to try and get that check on Miller. But Miller with a great pass to Baker, and Baker keeps the feet out, keeps himself out of the crease, and buries that one past Johnston. It's a one-goal game again. Lots of time left with about 9 minutes to play.
Kyle Baker. That goal was unassisted at 9:40.
Rochester's going to get it. I thought there might be some pressure, but U.S. had already peeled off to the box by the time it got over to Jeff Geddes. Jake Fox looking for a ball along the corner. It's going to be an outlet pass, though. Here's a chance for Joel White. Big save, Will Johnston. Johnston has faced some adversity early on. Gave up that goal on the first shot he faced and has really been seeing some high-quality U.S. shots. That may be among the highest quality of them all, and he turns that one aside. There's a rip from the outside by Lemieux. Craig Seneca makes the save and then corrals the ball just before Henry Follows can grab it. U.S. setting things up. Here's Bertrand. Clint Lewis watching him. Govett back steps back. Big hit absorbed by Bertrand from Alex Q. Rochester will take this possession, and Q is going to run up, hand it off to Brooker Muir. Muir wearing that PCLC helmet. Been a little in and out. Who's just actually put on the active roster by Panther City Lacrosse Club in the last couple of days. I was checking the transaction wire at NLL.com. See what's happening with all the teams in terms of roster movement. Here's Jake Fox trying to fight his way through. Hard rip from Tyler Brown, but no problem for Seneca. He'll make the outlet pass, and here comes Logan Monroe. Let's go to LAXNAI.com, LAXNAI.com for all the stats, schedules, scores, standings, anything else that starts with an S. You can find it there. Here's Nick Miller. Over to Baker. Baker's going to set a little screen there. Good D from Vradenberg. He seems to be moving better. There's a big pick from Baker. Bats recover. You get the shot. It may have been after the 30. A little bonus bump from Johnny Leclerc for Kyle Baker as he stood in front of the net. Here's Lemieux. Who's decided instead of heading towards the net, he'd just run into the nearest blue jersey he saw as he headed outside the restraining line. I like that sense of desire for contact. Henry Follows tried to grab it with one hand on the stick, reach out for extension and get it, but it just bounced away from him. U.S. gets over center. They hand it off there to George Downey, and Downey will just stand with his back against the boards while they get things all set up. Jasinski to Bertrand along the boards. You hear a lot of voices from the U.S. bench yelling directions. Interesting, the U.S. has about 9 non-playing personnel on the bench, all lined up along the back. They actually at times may have more guys behind the bench than they have players waiting to go on the floor. That goal by Rochester will give them a 2-goal lead once again, and that is huge because the U.S. keeps coming back, keeps getting close, but Fox is just going to fight his way through, and a little reach around the defender shot bounces out, and Tyler Brown corrals that rebound, tucks it home. Nice job by Brown just getting up and getting the shot off as he's coming down. Not a lot of time. You can see he
Rochester
immediately
goal, his
slips
first
around
per
his
game,
defender.
scored by number 19,
That's George
Tyler
Downey back on
Brown.
D, and you can see
Leading
Downey drops his
assist
head
with number
as he realizes he
45,
lost track of
Jake
Tyler Brown.
Fox.
It's so hard for the
On net
defenders
goal,
when the ball
5-17.
goes towards the net, then hits either the goalie or the boards and comes back out. Here's Q, watched by White. Good job getting the shot off. White provides some pretty solid D, but Q was still able to get the shot off. It's going to be a too many men penalty, which means Rochester will go to the power play. U.S. Blue has to send somebody over to the box. U.S. Blue has Justin Robinson and Bobby Kidd are going to go low on the penalty kill. Logan Monroe and Joel White are up top. They go sticks to the outside at the top and the bottom. A little unusual. There are different rationales. I mean, sometimes you want to be taking lanes more. Sometimes you want to be on the hands more. Here's Brown. Backdoor pass to
USA
Fox, who goes
penalty
behind the
in
back,
this
can't connect with
time. 1
follows.
minute for legal
Lemieux is there, but
substitution.
he doesn't get it.
Net penalty
Joel
will
White
be
gets the ball.
served.
Trent Boyd is the
Number
other
53,
forward for
Connor
Rochester. He has come back
Monroe.
in
Time of
transition
17,
defense as well.
3:53.
You don't have to worry too much when you're on the power play who comes back. It's play D, and it's not quite as bad as getting somebody stuck out there, an offensive player in a normal situation. 2 bats have stayed up the floor, so that leaves a lot of space at the other end as Lemieux and Fox are down by the goal line extended already. Tyler Brown trots across center. Trent Boyd is the trailer, and Henry follows, looking to get the pass, but they're going to skip to Lemieux instead. Now up to follows. Radzowitz up at the top for the defense, but the shot gets through. Craig Seneca with the stop. He's looking for somebody off the bench. Just a little high for Nick Miller, and he gets up and out of play. That's going to be a turnover. Not a bad idea. If you can connect on that, it can really spring someone for an opportunity. And we've got less than 3 minutes to go. Follow scores. Spins away from his check and just kind of a floater over the screen. Look at Follows, just kind of gets up high. He's not the biggest dude, but he gets the stick up so he can really change the angle. And that plane change contributes substantially.
Rochester goal, his third of the game, scored by number 9, Henry Follows. Time of that goal, 2:29.
Rochester happy to let the clock tick down, but they're not going to just retract the clause completely as they make a pass to Jake Fox, a breakout chance. Now the U.S. Blues looking to clear up and get a chance at net, but there's nothing doing. Jackson Reed gets it over to Jasinski. He's stopped. Seneca has not come to the bench for an extra attacker, so the U.S. is going to try and do it with their regular offense. That one gets away from Reed. He'll rip one that Johnston stops. And with 1:10 to go, Rochester would love to use up 30 seconds here and get a reset, ideally, but at least use up some time. Perkamere hands it off. He'll stay and play. He is by easily good enough to stay up and play offensive shifts. Very talented, as well as being a rugged and smart defender. Boyd's going to back up. Patrick Timothy goes after him. And Colin Monroe comes running across the floor to say, yeah, let's pressure. Monroe trying to check everyone, but they will eventually get it. 39 seconds to go. Patrick Timothy on the run. I wouldn't say Timothy's become a goal scorer, but I've seen him score a few goals. He scored some PBLA goals. He's developing in all facets of the game, the young man from Florida. Interesting, a couple of Florida players really for the U.S. That ball gets loose and it's grabbed by Johnson with just 20 seconds left because Bobby Kidd III, wearing number 22 for USA Blue, is or USA White. Is he on here? Yeah, he's on here. 22 Blue. He was born in Florida and then moved to BC when he was just a couple years old. And there's a shot with 3 seconds to go that George Downey rips in to virtually no celebration because they know that that is a relatively meaningless goal at this point. The final score will be Rochester Bats 6, USA Blue 4. That means Rochester will advance to the 5th place game, which is scheduled for
Final
3:10
score,
p.m.
Rochester
And
6,
in the
USA
7th place game, you will see USA Blue. They are going to be
Our next
facing
game coming up
the
at
winner and
about
loser,
16
respectively, of
minutes
the
at
next
1:30
semifinal, which
will
will be
be
held
the
between
number
Era Green and
63
the L
featuring
Gods,
the Elgads in
which is, oh no,
Area
that's ninth
Green.
place. Sorry, this was the second
Once
semi.
again,
So
the
the
next game
first
at
semi,
1:30.
Grand River, who won the first semi? Grand River.